Hello and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering EDH deck tech idea. Today we are taking a look at Taigam, Master Opportunist. It is a 2-mana 2/2 and whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy it, then exile the spell you cast with 4 time counters on it. If it doesn't have Suspend, it gains Suspend. If you're not familiar with Suspend, in each of your upkeeps you remove one of the time counters, and then if there are no more time counters on it, you can cast it without paying its mana cost. Especially relevant for creature spells is that a creature gains haste. In this mono blue deck we want to generate a bunch of value by copying and recasting our spells for free over and over again, and at some point win with a few Wincons of ours. But first we would like to generate a mana advantage in a mono blue deck. For that we play cards like Scepter of Eternal Glory, a 4-mana legendary artifact, and you can tap it to add 1 mana of any color. You can also tap it to add 3 mana of any one color, but you can only activate this if you control 3 or more lands with the same name. This is a great mana rock for mono-colored decks, simply because we'll be running the same basic land over and over again. We play Extraplanar Lens, a 3-mana artifact, and when it enters the battlefield you may exile target land you control. In addition to that, whenever a land with the same name as the exiled card is tapped for mana, its controller adds 1 mana of any type that land produced. This is the reason why we play snow-covered islands in this deck, simply because we would also give our opponents an advantage if they are playing islands, and you don't see that many snow-covered islands that often. We play Sapphire Medallion, a 2-mana artifact, blue spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Arcane Signet, a 2-mana artifact, and add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Soaring, a 1-mana artifact to add 2 colorless mana. And Solemn Simulacrum, a 4-mana artifact creature, and when it enters you may search a library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped and then shuffle. When it dies you may draw a card. All of these cards are definitely worth your second spell with Taigam on the battlefield, simply to accelerate your game plan even faster, but always keep in mind that legendary rule is a thing, so Scepter of Eternal Glory is probably not the best spell to copy with Taigam's ability. Once we have generated a certain advantage and also brought Taigam onto the battlefield, we want to cast 1 cheap spell, followed by an extremely valuable spell that we want to copy and suspend. For our first spell each turn we play Fort Scour, a 1-mana instant, target player mills 2 cards and you draw a card. A card that's also worth copying but also worth your first spell is Stock Up, a 3-mana sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. We got Impulse, a 2-mana instant. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. We play Gitaxian Probe, a 1-blue Phyrexian sorcery, and look at target player's hand and draw a card. We also play Consider, a 1-mana instant, surveil 1 and draw a card. I do also like Deliberate, a 2-mana instant, scry 2 and then draw a card. And now let's talk about a few spells that have extremely high value if we can cast them as our second spell to recast them later on for free. We play Archmage of Runes, a 5-mana 3/6 and instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Furthermore, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, draw a card. Cards that I do really like in this deck have Evoke, for example Null Drifter, a 7-mana 4/4, and when you cast a spell, draw 2 cards. It has Flying, Annihilator 1, and you can also evoke it for 3 mana. This alternative casting cost is still a cast, so we will exile it on the stack and can later recast it without paying its mana cost and not for its evoke cost, so a few turns later we will get this one for free. We play Muldrifter, a 5-mana 2/2 with Flying, and when it enters the battlefield draw 2 cards and you can also evoke it for 3 mana. We play Ledger Shredder, a 2-mana 1/3 with Flying, and whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, Ledger Shredder connives. Archmage Emeritus, a 4-mana 2/2 with Magecraft, so whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, draw a card. A card that I really like is Archaeomancer, a 4-mana 1/2, and when it enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Let's continue with a few absolute bombs that will win you the game. We play Dika, Fractal Theorist, a 5 mana free, and whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token and put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is that spell's mana value. It also has an activated ability because for 4 mana, target creature token can't be blocked this turn. We play a very powerful enchantment, Metallurgic Summonings, a 5 mana enchantment, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create an XX colorless construct artifact creature token, where X is that spell's mana value. You can also pay 5 mana and exile Metallurgic Summonings to return all instant and sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. You can only do this if you control 6 or more artifacts, which is manageable in this deck simply because we also copy a bunch of artifacts, and this will refill your hand at some point that you can just overwhelm your opponents with value. Another Wincon of ours is Shark Typhoon, a 6 mana enchantment. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an XX blue shark creature token with flying, where X is that spell's mana value. You can also cycle this card for 2 mana and X, and when you cycle Shark Typhoon, create an XX blue shark creature token with flying. Another really powerful enchantment is Storm of Saruman, a 6 mana enchantment with Ward 3, and whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy it, except the copy isn't legendary. You may choose new targets for the copy. Another token generator of ours is Talrun, Sky Summoner, a 4 mana 2/2, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 2/2 blue drake creature token with flying. To get rid of those time counters on our exiled spells, we play Paradox Haze, a 3 mana enchantment aura, and at the beginning of enchanted player's first upkeep each turn, that player gets an additional upkeep step after this step. You're going to enchant yourself, simply to get rid of 2 time counters in 1 turn. You want to win more? You get it. We play Tome of Horrors Adventurer, a 6 mana 4/4, and when it enters the battlefield you take the initiative. Not only is the initiative extremely powerful by itself, but whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy it. If you've completed a dungeon, copy that spell twice instead. You may choose new targets for the copies. We want to flash in Hullbreaker Horror, a 7 mana 7/8 with flash. This spell can't be countered, and whenever you cast a spell, choose up to 1. Return target spell you don't control to its owner's hand, or return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. We also add a replacement effect to this deck, Twinning Staff, a 3 mana artifact, and if you would copy a spell 1 or more times, instead copy it that many times plus an additional time. You may choose new targets for the additional copy. For 7 mana and tapping it, copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. We don't necessarily care about its activated ability, all we care about is its replacement effect, because this is already strong enough in combination with Taigam. Alright guys, these were a few cards that I would play in Taigam, Master Opportunist. Let me know which cards you would add to the deck, which legendary creature I shall feature next. Make sure to check out my full deck list in the notes below. And then I would say, see you in the next one. Goodbye guys.